Welcome to the Plus Buckets Podcast. My name is Josh Tyson.
And I'm Kyle Spence.
Their profession, our passion, your court. Check ball to you. Let's get
Check
back
ball,
to it, Cap.
Tyson. How you
What's
feeling,
up, dog?
brother?
Man, I'm good, dog.
I'm
Better
glad
than
to
stuff.
hear that.
Yeah, bro.
You know
Conference
why I'm
finals and
happy,
what?
Tyson? That's right. The conference finals are here. Finally, it's about time, and we just in time to talk about a few things. But let's wrap up a few other things first. Put a
Yeah,
bow, a
yeah,
nice bow
yeah.
on it.
We
Of
got to.
course, let me
Got to.
start with the Celtics, of course. After the Achilles tear ruptured for Jason Tatum, who was he was able to get that mended the same day, it almost seems like, in less than 24 hours time.
In recovery now.
We blew them out, and then of course we fell short after that. So we did talk about that on our last episode, the blowout,
Mhm.
where it was frustrating. But at this point, Tyson, we knew what was going to happen, and inevitable, where the New York Knicks went on to the Eastern Conference Finals to face the Pacers after they beat us in game six,
Yeah.
120, no, not 127, 119 to
Mhm.
81. Blow us
Right.
out.
Don't give
Terrible.
them more points. I'm about to say 126. No.
No, I'm not trying to give them more. That'd be terrible. But they blew us out nonetheless. We
Hey,
didn't play well. It is what it is.
it's okay though, man. Y'all saved face and held on to your pride by winning game five. That's all y'all
That's all
needed
I
to
cared
do,
about.
man. Y'all lost your star. You know what I mean? It is what it is. Everybody knew what it was, move forward. So at least y'all
Right.
had it down in game five, man. I'm glad the
I
team came.
100%
Yeah.
agree. That's
But
exactly what I said. Celtics pride. We didn't lose in the Garden. That's all I needed from you guys, and you did that. So kudos to you. But now let's go to the West real quick because we knew that was
mm-hmm.
going to happen, right?
We did.
But in the West, turns out that OKC, Oklahoma City Thunder, did actually oust the Denver Nuggets 120, what, 125 to 93, was it?
Yep.
I think so.
Beat the
Yes.
brakes off.
125 to
Yeah.
93. Um, Here's my thoughts. Remember we talked about the Westbrook effect before, Tyson?
Talk about it. Talk
I'm
about
just
it.
trying to make sure that it's reiterated.
I
Great
think yeah.
guy off the court.
Great
Everyone
job.
seems to love
Yes.
him. The locker
Yeah.
room seems to be championing this gentleman all the time. They say that he's one of the best teammates you could have ever. And I salute
Encouraging,
all of that.
uplifting. Mm-hmm.
Encouraging, uplifting, and everything in between. But what we have to talk about is the on the court effect. And unfortunately, I think that there is some impact to be given here, where I've said earlier on, and I'm saying again, he can get you deep enough into the playoffs, but you're not going to win a championship with Russell Westbrook on your team if he's being utilized how Westbrook would like to be utilized. In this case,
Exactly.
he was, in fact, utilized how Westbrook would like to have
Mm-hmm.
been utilized to the best of his ability. It was a shame to see the almost MVP and Nikola Jokic have to, I guess, be upset or sad, but he's going to go see his horses in Serbia. But it was sad to just see
Yeah,
him, get
he's been a
out
good player.
the playoff contention right now.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm sure he's just elated to be able to go home and relax and
Yeah,
be around amongst his brothers and horses. What do you think,
right.
Tyson?
Even though I will give him this, he was playing like he completely forgot about him. Like he was
Hmm.
playing like he wanted another ring, bro. You gotta get that to him. I mean, the game
Yes,
before he was playing lights out. He had like 44 points, something like that. I mean, the man was unconscious throughout the course of this series, man.
that's
But the
facts.
problem was, it seemed like he was the only one passionate about it, if we're
Hmm.
really real. I mean, this man, I mean, that Braun plays lights out, hustle ball. He's what everybody thinks Westbrook is in terms of
Hmm.
hustle. He'll give you minutes and all that. He's not a great 3-point shooter, but he gets those hustle plays. He'll the
Hmm.
one who cut to the hole. He knows where to be all at the right times, getting the boards. Murray, this is the reason why Murray has never been an all-star selection. I
Hmm.
mean, he's just not that consistent star that you need. It is what it is. Is he going to have like all-star games, most definitely he has. He's gonna show up in big moments, but he's just not consistent. It is what it is. Gordon is Gordon. He's gonna give you that solid, that solid like 15 points game, get you those rebounds. He's most besides Jokic, he's the most consistent person on that team.
Mm.
Michael Porter Jr.
He's injured.
It's
Give him a pass.
it's tough because he needs surgery on his shoulder, and he
Yes.
played through it. Now, of course, everybody's talking about if you're on the court, you're on the court. That yeah, I feel that. I think it should have been the coach's decision just not to play him. Put in
Mm.
Strawther, try and get him more minutes because Porter just wasn't giving you nothing, man, throughout the series. It is what it is. Your boy Westbrook, last game of the season, 21 minutes. He was a minus 34 for the game.
Mm. What about his
Minus,
6 points? I thought that
what
was
about the
important.
6 points? What about the inspiration? What about the encouragement he get? Man, it's now I will say there were a lot of times throughout the season, towards the end of the season, he was giving that life. It seemed like his shot was a lot more consistent. He was giving some life, injecting to some life. But to your point, like you had stated, when it gets into the playoffs, especially deeper into the playoffs, can you really rely on him at the end of the day? And yo, what I will say with this series, it shows depth really matters. Nuggets had absolutely no depth in this series. They played 6 man down, sometimes 7 man down. Towards the end, last two games, when their starting five was absolutely exhausted, that's when they started giving Strawther, Watson more minutes. But
Mm.
by then, bro, it was a little bit too late, man. I mean, this dude, I mean, the minutes that they're putting up, fully relying on those 5 man, it showed towards the end. And you saw the difference. The Thunder playing 1 through 9, and the Nuggets relying on 5. It shows, man.
Yeah.
That's why. That's
But
why at the end, Game 7, bro, they got mollywopped. They had nothing left.
But okay, I agree with you. We kind of always understood that this was going to be the case. I don't know if people are not watching the games or just don't understand the way that the coaching and the players are set up, but this was to be expected, that you're going to run ragged, and then you have some certain factors on your team that may be more of an anchor than they are a buoy. And in this case, it just took them under, and the Thunder advanced, which I think I honestly expected. I know that you were kind of seeing a game 7, which it did actually go to, but just a blowout fashion is crazy. But now, talking about that 6 man rotation, we're going to shift to the East for the Eastern Conference Finals as we now see that the New York Knicks are down 2-1 against
Mm-hmm.
the Indiana Pacers. They won the last game, came back from a 20-point deficit, which I'm impressed by. Came back and played really well all the way down to the stretch. Shout out to Karl-Anthony Towns, point blank period. Which let me pause for a moment. I know
Uh,
that people love to make these jokes about
they
him
do.
being be
Definitely. Yeah.
zesty.
Yeah.
I sometimes I laugh, sometimes it's funny, but sometimes like it's like, all right, y'all dragging it. Like,
Yeah.
yes, he has his moments, but let's not like diminish the man's
Discount who he
ability
is. Yeah.
to hoop. And
Straight ball out.
he put the Knicks on his back, and he balled out. Now it may not look like a lot, 24, was it 24 points or something like that?
Yeah.
But crunch
But
time, dog,
no,
crucial threes,
20
crucial
points in the
dunk.
fourth. 24.
Is that how
Yo,
much he
they
had?
they jumped on his shoulders and he carried them across the pond. Like
I
straight up,
honestly
bro. He
didn't realize he
swam
had
with them.
20 in the
He
fourth,
was
That's
almost
crazy.
drowning and they stayed afloat because of him. Literally,
Straight
bro.
up, straight up.
20 points in the fourth. You can't knock that guy. You can't
Like
beat
what are
doing
we talking about? Crucial, 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 crucial play all the way down the stretch.
it.
I think the Indiana Pacers blew that game,
Oh
but
yeah,
there's
most
something that we talked about. We talked about this last episode as well. I said,
definitely.
actually, episode before last, I was like, I don't know if I want the Pacers. I said that, and he was like, "What you mean by
You
that? You
called it.
think you're
You
gonna
called it.
lose?" I was like, "What you talking about? The Celtics? We know the
Yeah.
Celtics gonna win regardless." But there was a point to that. The pace that they play at, the freedom of moving the ball that they have, the ability
Yeah.
to have so many people that are able to take the ball into their hand and score from
Yeah.
seventh on the bench with, what is that, TJ McConnell, all the way up. You have people that will score the ball. We saw
Yeah.
Aaron Nesmith play lights out, 5 straight threes that pulled them
Crazy.
back from how
See,
many points down were
absurd.
they? Like it
Absurd.
was
He do
crazy.
turn into the best 3-point shooter on the team.
He's
Like,
turned
when
into
else have we
straight up
seen him
Steph
shoot
Curry.
threes, bro? Like, come on, man.
I was like, and
Wow, bro.
apparently he's been shooting it well. Like I think they said
It's
54% in the
it's
playoffs
it's
so
like
far.
like this dude brought Steph Curry in to train since he's in the off
He
season
straight
in the last
channeled.
week, bro. Like it's like Steph Curry was in his practice, bro. And that's
That's
crazy.
facts.
Yeah,
But the point is, if you have this type of well-rounded team with Rick Carlisle as your head coach, aka the angry Jim Carrey, you have something
yeah,
that is built where you're gonna be either outcoached or outplayed or both. And in
yeah.
this case, Tibbs is a good coach. New York Knicks is a good team. I have a prediction that initially, I had a prediction to say Knicks in 7. That's what I said to myself. I don't
Mm.
think I said it on the pod, but I said Knicks in 7 because I said Indiana Pacers are going to push you regardless. They're just going to
Oh yeah.
push you, and
Mm-hmm.
if you play around, you're going to get popped. That's
There you
not what
go.
we want.
Nope.
Now that I'm seeing that they took 2 games home in the Garden, and then the Knicks had to eke out one in Indiana,
Barely.
I think this might be Indian 6, maybe Indian 7, because just the way that I'm like, you played your best second half
Mm-hmm.
with Jalen Brunson out. And Jalen Brunson seems to keep getting in foul trouble, which is so weird because all he does is look for fouls, in my opinion. I feel as though there is an opportunity for the Indiana Pacers to be like, you got one, we're gonna get the next two, or we're gonna
Yeah.
get in the next 3 games or however many, we're gonna get the next two. I think it might be Indian 7, Tyson. What do you think? What do you see
Mm-hmm.
out there so far?
Well, yo, I think you're absolutely right. Yo, if you think about it though, man, and it can't, I had to come to terms with this, man, because I'm not a Pacer fan. But if you think about on the Knicks, who do you trust with the ball just to go get you a bucket when you need it? Besides Brunson, like real talk, besides Brunson, Cal, who do you trust on the Knicks to go and
I
get you a
have
bucket?
to go with Carl Anthony Towns, and that's not necessarily I trust him. I
Right.
just know that he's the second option on the Knicks.
That part. So with that notion too, because you don't trust him to really put the ball down like that, to go and get it. Like, yeah, gotta give it to him on the post, or you gotta clear out, maybe let him drive a little bit. Because if he drives and somebody closes out, this dude will flop everywhere. The ball will go up in the stand somewhere. Like
Mhm.
there's really only two people you trust with the rock to go and get you a bucket. Over on the Pacers side, 1 through 7 can go and get you a bucket.
They can.
McConnell, McConnell yesterday, bro. Just McConnell came in, bro, and dropped. What did he drop, bro? Hold on, real quick. McConnell
I
came
got you.
in
I'll look
and
it up
dropped
for
12
you.
points. He dropped 12 points in 15 minutes. 12 points, almost a point per minute.
Hmm.
12 points. Anybody at any given time can rise up for the Pacers, bro.
That's
They can
that's
go and get
facts.
that bucket. So it's going back to that mentality we was talking about, like Thunder versus Nuggets. It's the depth, the others that can get you a bucket outside of that
Hmm.
five,
Hmm.
outside of the top two. And on the Knicks side, Tibbs, he don't believe in the bench at all for real, dog. If he could, he would just play five.
That's
But
facts.
you saw yesterday he had to dig into his bench because of the foul trouble. So he
Mhm.
had to give McBride and Wright and Shamet some playing time.
I don't
Yo,
know how Shamet got on the court. I
by the
didn't even
way,
know he played for the Knicks for a hot second. And I was like, where
I
Shamet
where did
come
dude come
from?
from? But coming in, he was a plus 12 for the team. McBride, by the way, I said this last year, is one of the most underrated bench players in the league. Because McBride, before Cat took over in the fourth, McBride was the one who gave them life and was bringing them life a little bit. He was the one who would cut the leads almost like down to 10. That dude is a bucket getter. He's not scared of the moment at all. Any
That's
given moment,
facts.
he could drive in, pull up for the mini, hit a three. A boy's not scared of the moment. So Thibs, he really got to consider, man, giving especially McBride. It's a few more minutes, man.
I
Some
agree.
outside of that five, because it's all
I agree.
about depth at this point, man.
I agree. The way that I've seen Andrew Nemhard take over a game before, I've seen
We
obviously
see it all.
Neesmith take over.
Come
I've
on, man.
seen McConnell take over
Come on,
before.
man.
I've seen Turner take over before. We already know the top two in Tyrese Halliburton and Pascal Siakam.
Yeah.
They can do it. Two people I don't necessarily care for. One, Matherin. I think he doesn't have a good basketball IQ, so
No,
I
not
don't
at
think
all.
I trust him
Not
at
at
all
all.
on the
Yeah, yeah.
team.
That's why he only got 8 minutes. Yeah, yeah.
And I
No problem.
also want to point this out. Low-key Cat is actually winning the big man game against Miles Turner.
Oh yeah,
Miles
most definitely.
Turner is
It's been a disappointment.
low-key mild Turner. He's
Yeah, yeah.
probably
Ah,
averaging 14 to 15 points a game in this entire playoffs, and I'm
yeah.
not sure for the series, but
He
the
hasn't
way
taken
that
over
he's
nothing.
playing, I've
Yeah.
seen him lost on plays. I'm seeing him like you're not making sensible plays sometimes. You
Not at
look
all.
like you don't want the basketball sometimes.
And
It looks like if
dude
you
can't even
give him
find
the
his own
ball too
grade
far
sometimes.
out,
Yeah.
Jeff Van Gundy, not Stan Van Gundy said, he said Miles doesn't like to drive the ball. I was
No.
like, don't say that. It's like you actually right. You're
No,
right. This
he all
dude
the way
don't
right.
want no contact. He just trying to
No.
stay outside. Even Cat, no matter how people perceive him, he'll actually drive the ball, look for the foul at least.
Dunked on somebody yesterday. On somebody.
Yeah.
Drive him to the hole.
And
I'm with
yep, I think that was either Namhard, it had to be Namhard or Shepard,
you. Yeah.
but came down the lane, dunked on him one time, pointed at him too. I was like, it's good to
Yeah.
see that,
Yeah.
boy. Do that. That's what I
I'm
like
here
to
for it,
see.
dog. But yo, you can see, yo, that the nature and the culture being implemented in the cat.
Facts.
Like you never saw him play with this type of passion on the Timberwolves, bro.
That's
I
facts.
ain't where was this, bro? Where
That's
was this?
facts.
Even though he may do it in a zesty manner, at least he doing it.
You
I
doing it?
mean, my boy get
You gotta
now.
respect the man's game.
You got to. Now they would have roasted the mess out of him, man, if he didn't show up like that in the fourth. Because up to that
Yeah.
point, my boy only had 4 points, dog.
Yeah.
4 points with four
Yeah.
turnovers.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I didn't
it would have been a
realize that he had
rough
such
day.
little bit of points until you pointed it out that he
Yeah,
had
bro.
20 in the fourth. I'm like,
Yeah,
I didn't
if,
realize. All I know is this dude was just lights
yeah,
out. Like,
yeah, he was, bro. If they would have lost and he didn't go off in the fourth, bro,
yeah,
he probably
that
wouldn't
would be
have
a
wanted to
different
stay in the
story.
city that night.
That's right.
He would have wanted to stay, upstate New York that day. Go
Yep.
out into the woods up there and to the apple orchards or something like that, bro.
Just to
Yeah, man.
find himself. Now it's funny
Yeah,
because as we're saying that on the flip side, because this was a trade, a swap between
yeah,
Carl Anthony Towns and Julius Randle. Now
yeah.
we going out west when we're
Uh,
looking at the Thunder versus the Timberwolves, where the
yes,
OKC
sir.
Thunder are leading
Yes,
the
sir.
series 2-1. But the last game that they had was a huge 42-point blowout, 143 to 101 against the Timberwolves way against the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Hmm.
I think, Tyson, that
Mm.
the Thunder are going to win in six. I'm not
Okay.
even concerned,
Okay.
but I'm always going to say I could be wrong because that's
Yeah.
the safest way to say who'd have thought. But I don't see that being replicated again.
Yeah.
where that the Minnesota Timberwolves simply were just having their way in every
Yeah,
which way possible. All their shots were dropping, et cetera, et cetera. I feel as
yeah.
though the Thunder will take that back. When you shoot 50% from
You
three,
gotta win that game. You gotta win that
you
game.
gotta win that game.
Yeah, that's easy
And
work.
that's what they did. They shot 57% from the field goal, 50% from three. I
Yeah,
think that you naturally just had that game that you were looking
it's
for,
that game.
and 14 turnovers from the Thunder. You're not gonna. That's kind of uncharacteristic of them.
That's
But
not
if you
them.
looked at the first two games, however, Thunder won in very formidable like fashion, where it was
Oh yeah,
like I'm going to win this game. Won the
yeah.
first one, I think, by 20 something.
Almost
Next
definitely.
game for like 15. So I think that it was just a fluke of a game. SGA did talk about how they punched first, they were more physical, and the shots didn't drop. Blah 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 blah. And I agree with him. But I just think that that's not going to be the case. What do you think,
Yeah.
though?
Yo, so first of all, we call your boy Anthony Edwards a demolition man, bro. They absolutely destroyed these cats on the Thunder. But
That's
what did it
dope.
start off with? It started off with Anthony Edwards giving that type of energy, playing
Yes.
physical, getting those early steals, man.
Yep.
Like, yo, taking it to the rack, not settling, but taking it to the rack. He had a couple threes, but it was the ferocity in which he played and everybody else played.
Mm,
But to your point, in terms of this being consistent, of course, they're not going to have another 50% from the field type of game. So, what moving forward can they do? We talking realistically, the Thunder are a better team,
mm,
1 through 9 almost. Just like we talked about with the Pacers and Knicks, we talked about depth with the Timberwolves. Besides Edwards and Randall, sometimes, who do you trust, Kyle, to get you a bucket?
So I don't know. I say that if they are on, if they're not being streaky, I would say Nas Reed and Jaden McDaniels.
Keep
But
it
they're
streaky like
very
a mug.
streaky. They're
Yeah,
very streaky. And the way that they utilize Conley is like Andre Miller of the Nuggets type ordeal,
it's
where it's
rough,
like
man.
all you're there for is to
Yeah,
facilitate. That's it. That's all. We're not
that's the
asking for anything
only
else.
and they know that. The Thunder know that. If you see them, they really not even coming up on the screens like that,
Yeah.
man. You know what I mean? So
Yep.
if Conley can't do it, my biggest thing the game before last was like, I bet give DiVincenzo, those buckets. Let
Hmm.
him give him those minutes so he can actually go out there and be an offensive threat. As soon as I said that, Kyle, they did it. He went out there. DiVincenzo gave them. I think that was the first. That was the first game that. Yeah, it was game one where they trusted DiVincenzo. He played 30 minutes, went 3 for 14.
Mm.
3 for 14, dog. So it's like, yo, who can you really rely on? If I'm Ant Man, I'm extremely frustrated too. Because outside of Randall, who do you get a ball to? Who can help out? Are we gonna try and wait for Rudy Gobert to have another 2020 game? That what we wait on? You know what
Well,
I mean? Yo, it's
that'll be
gotten so
game
bad. By
eight
the
for
way, bro,
sure.
I don't know why this dude always playing, bro. Like he got lobs of grease on his hands, bro. Like he just, bro. It's sad to see. I've never seen this before, where Ant-Man or the star point guard, the star guard, has like 2, 3 people on him. And the big man rolls and is wide open. But everybody hesitates to pass it because they don't believe he can catch it.
Mm.
When he showed you over and over again, the man's addicted to Butterfingers, man, because he can't catch the rock. I've
Not only
never
can catch the
seen
rock, Tyson,
such. Oh,
but when he has the rock, I have never seen a more uncoordinated person trying to score the ball.
It's
Like
horrific, bro.
it
It's
is
horrific.
horrific to see.
One of
And for someone at his height, I'm like, this is absolutely egregious. You should not
yo,
be this bad at finishing
yo,
around the rim where it's like no one considers you a threat. And they could put their
nobody.
almost the smallest person on you, depending on how deep into the paint you are, because you still can dunk. But it's like no one respects his game. Does he
And
respect his game?
you would think after so long in the NBA, you would develop something within the paint, a little hook, being that tall, a hook, a up and under, anything.
Hmm.
They don't even trust you with wide open dunks. Yo, I wish Shaq and the Fool was still going on. Rudy Gobert would be on there every week. Did you see the play where they threw it to him on a pick and roll? And he tried, I don't know what he was trying, but he had turned his back and was trying to do, I guess he was
Yeah, yeah,
trying to
yeah,
lay
yeah, yeah.
it up
That's the
backwards.
one that I was immediately
I've
thinking of,
never
because he
seen,
he did like he did this,
I
and it
don't,
went nowhere.
I've never
Because I was like, were
seen
you trying to do a
something
reverse dunk,
so
but you so
sad
far out? Like what?
basketball wise in my life
Mm.
because there was like everybody in the NBA has some type of basketball acumen, some type of feel for the game.
Yep,
You
yep.
know what I mean? It's as if this guy, they just got this cat from overseas and just said, just rebound. So all we need
Just
you to
grab the
do,
ball, brother.
just grab the ball. Did you see that breakout where now granted, he stole the ball, he hit the ball, and he tried to dribble it up the court?
And we don't ever want him putting the ball on the floor.
Did you see him try to dribble up the court? Now, granted, yes, everybody, he is 7 foot like 2. But for you not to be able to just even put the ball on the floor is just a disgrace to the game. So I've never seen anything so uncoordinated in the NBA. I think in my life. I have you. Maybe I just don't. Maybe I'm
No,
missing
I
somebody.
I I can't think of anybody that like it's really just egregiously bad. I can't think of anyone like that. Where you have all the height in the world and you have even the build where you're not like a beanpole like Chet Holmgren. You have a little base, shoulder and legs to you that you can actually athletically do some things, and your end result is pretty much people are shocked when you can hit a layup, or people are cheering at the top of their lungs if you hit a floater,
Oh,
or God
yeah.
forbid an actual jump shot. Like
Nah,
that's
we
is
don't even
pretty
see that.
crazy, yo. It's
It's
pretty
sad.
crazy.
I don't understand how you're a starting big man, the tallest cat on the court, and you're averaging like 5 points.
Hmm.
That's
You're
just
right.
something that will never. I, bro, I can't. Even Ben Wallace, he was
Even
averaging what
Ben
we
Wall, that's right.
defensive mastermind. But he made sure when he got that ball, when he had, you can throw him a lot. If you
Hmm.
throw it down to him in the paint, he ain't gonna lose that mug, bro. 2 hands, we clamping. You ain't taking this rock. I'm
That's
at least
facts.
going up. I'm at least getting fouled, bro.
That's
Like,
facts.
it's sad. But I say all that to say, like, who can Anthony Edwards trust outside of Randall? Like, where is the offense gonna come from? That's going to be what really ultimately hurts them in the long run. Why the Thunder? I think the Thunder are going to win. Who can they rely on? Even say Anthony Edwards go for 35, 40. What the other 40, 50 points gonna come from, bro? No,
It
man, I don't
has
know.
to be a collective, otherwise it's all for naught. It
Yeah,
has to be a collective, yo. And that's just what it is. Until that happens, I think that the Thunder are just probably just lock in step where they don't feel as though this was that significant of a loss,
I don't think they think that
and
either.
they
Yeah,
feel as though they can probably bounce back and bounce back
most that.
better.
Yeah, yeah,
So
I think so
let's
too.
do a quick prediction because the games are coming up shortly. We
Yep,
have the Minnesota Timberwolves and the OKC Thunder playing this evening,
yeah,
tonight. Who do you got?
yeah. I honestly think, man, Thunder gonna bounce back after this game. I saw Shea, uh, smirk a little bit after the game. Real that smile he gave the Nuggets after
Hmm.
they won or got blown out,
Hmm.
and then they came back to that game. I think it's gonna be the same thing, man. I think first thing, bro, I wouldn't be surprised if it went 5. I think it's gonna go 6. I think
I
Timberwolves
think it's
lose
going
this
six.
game. I think they lose this game, and then they win one at the Thunder, and I think they go back home and lose in game 6, bro. Just
I think so too. I think that it's going to go 6 games. Tonight, I think that OKC is going to win.
yeah,
They just need to play their game and
that's
stop
it.
trying to play other people's game.
Yeah,
What about tomorrow? Knicks and Pacers. Who you
man, it's
got?
good, bro. But yo, I don't. If if Thibodeau stops being stubborn, bro, actually plays McBride a little bit more, some of the other people off the bench, I think it'd be good. I don't know why the Knicks keep putting themselves in predicaments, even though yes, they come back for 20-point leads. But if y'all just started playing off the break like y'all was down 20, I think it would
Mhm.
go so much better. I think they found, especially on defense, um, where if they switch a lot more, because they get in trouble a lot. Halliburton is a good passer, and they move the ball. If they were to switch everything and make Pacers go 1-on-1 on everything, I think they have a better chance instead of But with Mitchell going in there, I think he's a little liability. But I'd rather the Pacers try to shoot threes over me than going to the basket. I want you to
Mhm.
step back and shoot a three over me all day. Do that. We'll go with that.
You're gonna get hurt either way, but it's one is a harder shot than the other. So I agree
Right.
with that.
And then you force them into more of a one-on-one game
Hmm.
versus the team game. And when you get into the team game with the Pacers, that's when you're gonna get robbed.
Yes. I think that the Pacers are going to win tonight. If they move the ball the way that they continue to move the ball, they should be well off. They just need to clamp down on defense. And Halliburton needs to stop looking off his own shot. He's had
Yeah.
multiple opportunities yesterday in crunch time to come back and say, nah, let me try and hit this shot. And he gave it
Yeah.
up. He's still looking, searching, and probing for another shot opportunity. And then they kept doing the same thing. They'll put
Yeah.
McConnell, Mathurin, Shepard, or Nemhard in the corner.
Yeah.
And the Knicks figured that out. It's like, oh, you just driving a kick. You're not driving to score. So we'll have
Right.
somebody out there to deter the shot, to deflect the ball, whatever. Like they're defensively, they need to clamp down. Offensively, Tyrese needs to look for his shot. On the other
Yeah.
side, like for the Timberwolves, like just I think they figured it out. They sink lower um, because when they call for the screen from Hartenstein and other people, SGA has a clear path to the basket because they're so
Yeah.
high up because they're trying to defend far above the 3-point line.
Right.
But I think
Right.
they figured it out. Move back a little bit, and you should be able to on the pick and on the screen you could either shade, you could have a help side, and then it's collapse a little bit more. So if they were to kick it out, you have somebody there to defend. So
Yeah.
I think that they just need to do tweaks, and that's why we love this game. That's why we love the playoffs because it's a 7-game series. People are learning your moves, your counter moves, and your counter
All
moves
that.
as on
Yeah.
the fly. And then they're like, all right, so we're gonna make adjustments and we're gonna come back and see what's what the next time around.
Yeah.
And that's what I love about this game. So I think that's Indiana tomorrow and Thunder tonight for sure. For
Yeah.
sure.
For the
So
love of the game, bro. For the love of the
Definitely
game.
for the love of the game. But that's
Yes, sir.
what we are talking about because this is a Clutch Buckets podcast where we talk about everything basketball. And we're just glad to be able to talk a little bit about the East and Western Conference Finals
Yes,
as
sir.
we are going to prepare for our next episode, hopefully before we even get to the finals itself, where we're going to kind of ramp up our recording so that we can
Yeah,
kind of give you live and up-to-date news on what's happening around
I got
the
you.
league. But until then, thank you for joining. Be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. My name is Kyle Spence,
And I'm Josh Tyson.
and we out.
Till next time,
Peace.
y'all. Yes, sir.